Hello everyone, Jesse Webb, Traders Pro. Market conditions softening here just a little bit. Let's look at current market conditions. We've ticked back to mildly bearish in a bear market. Recall that a lot of these videos are just for repetition, because trading and investing is about repetition. It's about knowing what you're looking for each day. So a lot of times these videos are repetitious, but that's the point, to be able to continue to go over the same thing so that we know what we're looking for and looking at. Well, we know that we're in a bear market here. We know that we're working on a bottoming process, or at least a counter trend process of that. And so that's where that bear market comes in. The mild bearish part comes in on the bottom indicators here, where yesterday we were talking about momentum, and we had momentum up in this buy range. That's going to shift this shorter term setting right here. So now we've got momentum that has moved back into this, essentially this trendless range, and or now it's moving the other direction. And now we've gone from all the way up here, which was this little spike right here. Now we're traveling back this direction as this momentum starts to move back. Well, at some point this is either going to be a retracement, and we're going to find some support, and we're going to start to move back up again, or we start to continue to slide this direction. So we're right at that point right now. Obviously we don't know which direction with 100% certainty, but as we start to get these things that are adding up to the overall perspective, then we can utilize that. Number one, we're getting momentum, which is weakening. We're getting breadth, which is also weakening, and sentiment has a budge. That's gonna stay there until either the market really starts to slide, or it's going to stay there, and it's going to stay there for a length of time as we rally even higher. That's what it did this last really in 2020. We saw this all the way up here for most of the year, just because there was no fear in the market. There's just still not a lot of fear right now. We're still seeing some bullishness, but we're seeing this overall trend soften. It's not broken quite yet, but it's getting closer, at least to a shorter term shift, a trend reversal. Buy sell ratios also weakening, same pattern. We've talked about that, where you get that first spike higher, then typically you'll get 2 or 3 moves, and then either a pullback to a buy sell ratio of 1, and it reverses and we get red over green, or we get a bounce here and we get another uptrend. So we're right at that location. Let me go back to this chart here, because the next part of this is important. This means traders and investors, let me highlight that. This means traders and investors should consider trading with a bearish bias by raising stop levels on winners and selling losers. It's not saying let's go full on bearish or let's sell everything right here. It's saying be aware. If you've got stocks that are losing, then they're not working for you. That, selling the losers before you sell your winners is typically a best practice, and in this case it's protecting the gains that you have on your winners. So if you've got some winners in there, consider raising stops on those, so that if everything does fall off the table here and we get a big reversal, then you've got some protection against that reversal, or setting up some kind of a hedge against it, like an inverse ETF or something. Just being aware that we're at a potential location where we could get some kind of reversal. Those can accelerate. It may be a pullback. It may be something where you're getting just again, the retracement and then something moving higher here, or this, we could really start to slide. So futures are down this morning. So it looks like we're going to gap lower, not by a lot, but just be aware of this today. The new buy list, let's take a look through some of those, see what we're seeing kind of filtered to the top here. We're seeing oil again, YPF, and really nice looking pattern here, just not, this is that long counter trend to this uptrend where it's just consolidating. It's consolidating those gains and then waiting for enough demand to either push up, or if we get weakness, to start to move back down again. So it's right at that location. These are not real constructive bullish bars. The last few days you've seen a couple stocks where we've had real strong solid green bars. This is not the case on that one. Nonetheless, it's still inside of that range to be aware of. And let's see what else we've got here. We've got electronic stock, a nice pattern on AEHR, PBF, another oil stock, MOD. This is a nice solid bar here, a little bit more like we've talked about the last couple of days, with a breakout pattern out of a resistance or a counter trend move, and then a good solid breakout bar. Still inside of the buy zone. You can see that it's traveled just on this day alone towards that upper end of that extreme. The extreme is not a bad place to be. It just means that if it is up into that extreme range, it's probably not a sustainable location, and price likes to pull back inside of this zone. So this is still inside of that range to be aware of. AMR, basic material mining, PBT, GOTU. This has been a high flyer. It really has had this long consolidation, but I'd add this one to a watch list because it's looking like it wants to attempt this upper range. It's now pulled back. It's now up in this upper area. Again, we want to try to avoid these locations. This is trend following, so we're looking for confirmation type moves. One of the hardest parts of trend following is riding out a retracement. So if we've got stocks that are working really well and then riding that out, waiting instead of selling any type of a pullback. So again, that's why we're looking for some of these bearish indicators to be what's the situation happening right here. Do you want to ride out a retracement, or would you prefer to exit at this location and wait? I'm not talking about this stock. I'm just talking about in general on any positions that you may hold. Let's take a look at sectors here real quick. Construction, oil and energy, aerospace. We're seeing some aerospace has bumped back up. Construction is moving. Aerospace transportations has moved a whole lot, but this aerospace sector, that's relatively new in the last few days and weeks. So keep an eye on that. That could be gaining some momentum there. And if you don't have full access to what I'm showing you on the chart, you can sign up below and get full access. And we look forward to having you. Have a great day today.